Hello and good evening, and welcome to the Friday edition of The Shed. Hashtag Irish Bulls Mafia with me, Trevor. As you can see, I'm in my Buffalo green, this beautiful t-shirt I got from um, Buffalo, and my beautiful Buffalo green cap. So I'm in the Irish green for the Buffalo Bills. So I'm delighted to be doing the show that way. Um, Tonight, I'm going to look ahead at the Week 10 fixtures and talk a bit about last night's game between the Ravens and the Bengals. I do apologise for not doing a show last night. I was to do two. I was to do one on my own, and I was to do one with Matt from at UK Bills. But unfortunately, I felt under the weather. I had a bad stomach, so I had to stop the two of them. So I do apologise, but I'm here tonight now, so we'll catch up on things, and please God, everything will be okay. So I'm going to start tonight with talking about last night's game between the Bengals and the Ravens, and it was a cracker. Now, I only seen highlights of it because I was working today, so I didn't stay up to watch it. But the Bengals lost 34-35, and with 30-something seconds left, they got a touchdown, and they went for 2 points. Now, the problem is that there was at least 3 fouls on the play when they went for the 2 points between face masks, holding, and everything else, and no flags were thrown. And it's not that you want to criticize the Ravens because they came back from the dead in the third quarter and got into a lead, but the Bengals kept going back. And two stats I took from this night was, I just read it before it came on, was Jamar Chase had 11 catches, 264 yards, 3 touchdowns. That would win any game. Joe Burrow had 428 yards and 4 touchdowns. That would win any game. And yet the two of them lost. So it was a brilliant game. The Ravens, they have the kibosh on them. The 2 tight games this year, like in the win at Cincinnati, to be fair, they had a kick to win it, the Bengals, and they didn't take it. And last night, now they went for the 2 points. I can understand why they didn't want to go into overtime and then lose another game in overtime. But sometimes, you take small steps to get to the big reward. And I don't know, maybe they went a bit greedy last night. And yes, there was fouls, but unfortunately, as I know from being a Mayo fan and an Arsenal fan over the years, and to a point of being a Buffalo Bills fan, that things don't always go for you when you're not the big fish in the small pond. So, well done the Ravens. Hard luck the Bengals. It was a cracker, and it was, a good start to the weekend. So on Sunday, the first game up is the Munich game. Now, to be honest, at the start of this year, when I heard Munich, I had been to London. Now, this is before I got to go to Buffalo because I never thought I'd get there. And I thought maybe Munich in a year or two, if it sticks at Munich, because I hear great things about it. It's a great party atmosphere. But the game that came up was the Giants and the Panthers. And even back then, it wasn't a game to go, hey, I want to see that game. But the Giants and the Panthers are on in Munich this weekend. And I do hope it's a cracker. I know it's 2 teams that have very poor form. And, it's a game that could be just 2 bad teams that play very well and be exciting, or it could just be a very bad game. But the NFL, to be honest, do not need a bad game in Munich. It's a city that's booming, and it's a city that I think that if they get the right games over there, they'll have sellouts and people want to go back year after year. Daniel Jones and the Giants, and it's Bryce Young now and the Panthers. Now, Bryce did well last weekend, but one swallow doesn't make a summer. So he has to put it back-to-back this year. Daniel Jones is playing for his future. I wouldn't say in New York, but in the NFL. And both of them quarterbacks, they're both might not be where they are playing right now come this time next season. So it's a huge game in that ask. Brian Daboll is under severe pressure as the Giants head coach, as well as all his team. And they were a bit unlucky against in ways against the Commanders last week. The Panthers had a good win last week. It's not a game there's an awful lot to talk about, really, as in excitement or who's who or what's what. But I'm going to go for the Giants in this one. I just think that Daboll being a former Buffalonian, we'll stick with him. we'll support him. He did help Josh Allen become Josh Allen. So I'm going to go for the Giants this weekend, and we'll see how they go. Our next game then is the Patriots at the Panthers. Or sorry, the Patriots at the Bears, excuse me. So the New England Patriots, I don't know what to make. They went to beat the Jets 2 weeks ago, and you think they're turning the corner. Now, Drake May was injured, but Jacoby Brissett did go and beat the Jets. Drake May came back last weekend and went to the Titans, another team that's in horrible form, and played well in the last stretch, but couldn't get the job done. Caleb Williams, like, this is quarterback 1 versus quarterback 3 in the draft. Isn't setting the world alight, whether that's down to Matt Eberflus's way of playing, or whether that's just down to Caleb Williams not adjusting to the NFL. But the Bears are in better form than the Patriots, and for me, that's why I'm going to go Caleb Williams and the Bears this weekend to win. Just want to give a shout out to my friend Colin. He's over there this weekend. He's gone to see this particular game, so I hope him and his mates that flew over from Ireland this week have a wonderful weekend in Chicago and get the game that they deserve. And I hope it all goes well for them. So shout out, Colin. The next game then is our own game, the Bills against the Colts. Well, firstly, I'm going for the Bills. No surprise there. Now, I just heard news this evening, Keon Coleman, there was touch and go whether he will play this weekend or not, but he is out. Sean McDermott has announced that he is out today. So we're going to be without Keon Coleman. But hopefully Amari Cooper is back fit and able to play. So we will have at least one wide receiver that can keep the Colts defense at bay and under pressure. As for the Colts, we don't know if it's going to be Anthony Richardson or Joe Flacco that's going to start as of now. Joe didn't set the world alight last weekend, and Anthony Richardson is under, been taught a lesson. So I would guess it will probably be Joe, but you don't know. Like, the Colts are in bad need of a win. They'll have to throw everything at them. They have Taylor, you have Pittman Jr. These are two running back and wide receiver that are top notch, and they have a team that can put a push on. As for us, well, our defense started well last week and played well against the very good Miami Dolphins. Our offense did the same. They came out and played from the start, and our kicking team and did exactly what they were asked of. We're going to have to go again, because I've watched commentators and these guy know-it-all guys, and they reckon that our next 5 games we'll be lucky to win 2, if 3. And it is the Colts, it is the 49ers, it is the Chiefs, it is the Lions, it is the Rams. Not in that particular order, but they're the 5 games. I don't look at it that way. We look at this Sunday. We don't worry about the Chiefs, 49ers, Rams, or Lions until they come along. And we respect the Colts, and we take the Colts on. If Josh Allen performs to Josh Allen, if our offensive line performs to the offensive line, if James Cook and Ray Davis performs as the running backs, Dalton Kincaid and Dawson Knox as our tight ends, Omari Cooper, Kahil Shakir, Matt Collins, if they all perform on our offensive side, then we'll beat the Colts. No problem. I'm not being smart or disrespectful to them. We'll beat them. On our defense, we have players that are starting to stand up, and they do have to keep going. Ed Oliver, AJ Epinesa, Damar Hamlin. These are guys that it is in them, and it's great to see Damar being put into that picture with the likes of AJ Epinesa and Ed Oliver. Von Miller, I think he's due back. I'm not sure if he played many snaps last weekend. I as I said, hopefully he'll get back to the Von Miller he was before. Then you have, hopefully coming up the road, is Matt Milano. And if we get Matt Milano back, we'll be in very good nick going into, the hopefully postseason, the playoffs, and get him back for a few games beforehand and get back playing. We will have injuries. Every team has injuries. We have to deal with them. But getting Matt Milano back, and if Matt Milano can come back to being the Matt Milano he was, that's like having 2 players, because for me, he's one of the best defenders in the league. So I'm going for the Bills in this game. I think it'll be an exciting game. It should be an exciting game. We've got two teams that want to attack the ball and want to play offense. So, it's just that we have to make sure that we get the job done, and that's our job for this week. So, please God, that'll happen. Then we have the Vikings as the Jaguars. So the Vikings got over the losing rut last weekend, and the Jaguars, well, they're going to be probably without Trevor Lawrence come this weekend. So it's no surprise I'm going for the Vikings in this one. Sam Darnold and Justin Jefferson and co will kick along another one. They have to keep the pressure on the Detroit Lions because they're coming up soon for them, and they need to be beating the likes of the Jaguars. As for the Jaguars, if they get beat this weekend, it's season over, and it's then question mark over Doug Peterson. It'll be a question mark over Trevor Lawrence. Will they, build a future around him, or will they go and trade him off for someone else? So these are big questions coming down the line for Jacksonville. But firstly, the game has to be played. If the Vikings win, then I think that season over for them. For the Vikings, they have to win because they have to push on and they have to challenge the Detroit Lions or keep on their tails to get to the playoffs. Then we have the Broncos at the Chiefs. I'm going with the Chiefs. That's all I'm going to say. But I will say this. I wouldn't be surprised if there was a shock. It's not that the Broncos are playing brilliant, but the Broncos have pushed teams before. And the Chiefs are improving every week. Kelsey's improving. They have now DeAndre Hopkins. He's made a huge difference for Mahomes, as another weapon. Kareem Hunt is back as a running back. So, they are improving. But at some stage, I'll be surprised if they go 18-0 or 17-0, sorry. They're going to get caught. And I'm going for the Chiefs this weekend, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Broncos, turned up. Sean Payton did a job on them, and Bo Nix turned out and had the game of his life so far. Then we have another divisional game. We have the Falcons at the Saints. Smith got sacked this week from the head coach of Dennis Smith of the New Orleans Saints. So they'll be looking to rebound. The Falcons are on a great run. Kirk Cousins is leading them. I think they're a dark horse in the NFC. They're kind of like ourselves in a way that no one is talking about them. Just, good win, but it'll fall off later. I don't know. I think Kirk Cousins is getting the most out of them. Drake London, Pitts, Bijan Robinson, and so on are playing better and better as each week goes by. Their defense is playing better and better as each week goes by. So I'm going for the Falcons this weekend. I don't think it'll be easy because there will be the rebound from the sacking of Dennis Smith that the New Orleans Saints players will want to show a bit of pride. I don't think Chris Olave is going to be playing. I think he's going to be still out with concussion protocol. They traded Lattimore to the Washington Commanders this week, so that's a big loss. So it's going to be hard to see them do anything, but still it's a divisional game. So like the Browns against the Ravens, everyone will get up for it. But I'm going to go with the Falcons in this game. Then we have the 49ers at the Buccaneers. It could be Christian McCaffrey's return to the NFL. Hopefully it will be. I had him down as Offensive Player of the Year, but the poor lad hasn't got a run yet because of injuries. So if he comes back, he's going to be a huge boost for the 49ers going into the season, into the straight. Tampa Bay Buccaneers are coming off a wobbly patch. They need a win badly. Baker Mayfield is starting to fall behind the likes of the Falcons. But I'm going to go for the 49ers this weekend. I think that they have, more to gain. The Buccaneers, yes, they're doing okay, but they're not firing on all cylinders at the minute. And Brock Purdy and George Kittle and Deebo Samuel and now Christian McCaffrey and more, they are just going to be too much for them, I think, this weekend. Then we have a game that I really had to think about who may win this. It was the Pittsburgh Steelers are going to the Washington Commanders. Pittsburgh Steelers is not so much offense, their defense is phenomenal. Excuse me. The Washington Commanders offense under Jaden Daniels is absolutely flying. And it was a toss of a coin. And I've gone for the Commanders. I've gone for the offensive side. They're at home. They may just have enough just to get past the Steelers. And no, I'm not counting out the Commanders' defense. And I'm not counting out the Steelers' offense. They still have weapons and, dangers. And as I said, the Commanders got Lattimore this week, which is a huge addition to the team. But going off offense, Jaden Daniels has really, to me, stood out to be the rookie of the year so far. By a country mile. He's leading a team that no one expected anything of to be top of their division and looks like will win their division come the end of the season. So for that reason alone, I'm going to go for the Commanders. The Steelers really do need to win it to keep ahead of the Ravens, but it's going to be their battles with the Ravens that's going to decide that division. For that, I'm going with the Commanders. Then we have the Titans at the Chargers. Well, the Titans, they had a win last weekend against the Patriots. I still don't know, Will Levis going to get back in, or is he still out injured, or is going to be Mason Rudolph as the quarterback? The Chargers are ticking along nicely. They are, and this is why the Broncos game is so important with the Chiefs. For the Broncos themselves, and the Broncos are fighting for second place in that division, and maybe a wild card place at worse in the AFC. So I'm going for the Chargers this weekend. Justin Herbert and Jim Harbaugh should have too much for the Tennessee Titans. Then you have another game that at the start of the year, I would have gone away all the time, but right now I'm not. It's the New York Jets at the Arizona Cardinals. I think that Kyler Murray, Marvin Harrison Jr. and co. will blow the Jets out of the water. I think they're at a stage now where they're improving and progressing and becoming the team that they want them to be, whereas the Jets are still, they got a win last weekend, but they're dysfunctional. They're no team spirit, or no one to die for each other on the field. And it starts at their quarterback, and it works from there on. So for me, I'm going to go for the Arizona Cardinals in this particular game. Then we have another divisional game. We have the Philadelphia Eagles at the Dallas Cowboys. No Dak Prescott, Dallas Cowboys. Not sure if CeeDee Lamb is going to play Dallas Cowboys. You have the Eagles, Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Brown. They're all flying. And AJ Brown. And for me, it's an Eagles win. The Cowboy season is over. Jerry Jones needs to look in the mirror, pass the torch to somebody else. And if they want to win something, they're going to have to move on. Well, let it not be Jerry Jones. Then we have a cracker of a Sunday night game. It's the Detroit Lions at the Houston Texans. Again, a tough game to call. The Lions had a good win at Lambeau Field last weekend. The Texans, they were without. Now, Nico Collins may be back, but they were without Stephon Diggs. He's out. But they did miss the two of them last weekend. CJ Stroud didn't have the best game at the New York Jets. He has, teams are starting to figure him out and figure out their offense. And they're going to have to improve a lot this week if they're going to have any chance with the Lions, who apparently are the best team in the NFL at the minute. So I'm going to go for the Detroit Lions. Jared Goff, Montgomery, Amon-Ra St. Brown, Gibbs, they're all, playing top-notch football. And there's more of them. And they've added to their defense this week. So, they're a team at this minute that are on cloud nine. Can they stay there? Time will tell. But right now, I'm going for the Detroit Lions over the Texans. And the Monday Night Football is the Miami Dolphins at the Los Angeles Rams. And for me, it's a hard game to call because Tua is back, but they have to go across the country. And you have Tua, Waddle, and you have Hill, which is going to go wide receiver, quarterback against Kupp, Puka Nacua, and Matthew Stafford. It's two mouth-watering set of threes straight away. Leave out the running backs and every other player besides that. I'm going to go for the Los Angeles Rams in this because they have more to gain than the Dolphins season is over. They're not going to no playoffs. It would be, a miracle if they did. So I'm going to go for the Rams in this one, and I think that home advantage will help them. I think they'll be too strong for the Dolphins in the end. I think their defense will shut down the Dolphins offense quicker than the Dolphins defense will shut down the Rams offense. So I'm going to go for the Rams. And that is my predictions for this week. The boys are the Cleveland Browns. They could do it a few weeks off. Green Bay Packers, the Las Vegas Raiders, and the Seattle Seahawks. Three of them, four teams, their season is nearly over. It's just the Packers are the ones that could do with the rest, and then hopefully Jordan Love will get fit and they'll come back and have another bash at the NFC North. So they're my predictions for tonight, folks, for this weekend's football. As I say, I do apologise for not getting the video out last night. If you want to follow me or contact me on anything, or have a difference of opinion or anything like that, please do. Underneath the bottom there is my Instagram and Facebook at the Irish Bills Mafia. YouTube is at the Irish Bills Mafia, and X or Twitter, as it was called, is Bills_Irish. I love to hear from people. I love to get contact and, let me know what you think of my thoughts and anything like that. Next week, please God, on Tuesday, I'll review week 10. And then on Thursday, I've arranged with Matt again from the UK Bills, health-wise all go well, to be back on his show, and I'll do my own show as well. But that's it for tonight. I hope you all have a happy, wonderful, and safe weekend. I hope the beautiful green shines well for the Buffalo Bills this weekend, and everyone gets to the game, has a great time, enjoys themselves, and everyone is safe and happy and gets home safe and happy afterwards. And as always, my friends, please stay safe, stay happy, stay together, and as always, go Bills.